Hello, everybody, and welcome into the...
It's time for the Breakfast Club on AM 1240 WEKR, your good neighbor station, brought to you by First National Bank and the County.
Thank you, Lily, and good morning, everyone, and welcome into the Breakfast Club here on WEKR and the Newsmakers on WYTM. I'm Don Council with Fayetteville Public Utilities, and we're coming to you live from the FPU studios today, and we've got our CEO, General Manager Britt Dye, with us. Good morning.
Good morning, Don.
Got a lot going on here. I know it's Christmas time, but we're running wide open, and we're trying to be COVID-free. We're 6 foot apart today, and we're trying to keep safe around here because got to keep the utilities running, but COVID's a serious, serious situation.
That it is. It's, brought a lot of different changes.
And you, one of the things that you've been working with the employees is trying to keep that out of here as much as possible, and we've done pretty good so far, and we want to continue that, but we have services that have to be offered, and I know you've been working hard trying to keep everything, keep us safe.
Well, the work that we do and, working together out of all departments, it brings on a big challenge, but, the employees has done an exceptional job of trying to distance themselves, of meeting with customers or meeting with the employees here when we do have our meetings and those kinds of things. And we've been really lucky, but we also been blessed. And, we haven't had that many cases here inside where an employee has tested positive to give it to another employee. It's always a family member or something like that, maybe one case or two cases here. But, they're doing an exceptional job, and we really appreciate what all the employees are trying to do to keep everybody safe and healthy, and because you don't know how it's going to affect from one person to another.
With all the schools pretty much virtual, I think even we've heard even more schools going virtual. That's pretty taxing on the internet side of the business, but we've held up pretty well on that end.
Yes, we have so far, and we keep looking about increasing more speeds and those kinds of things to try to help all that we can, and wish we could do more.
Yeah, and we have 2 grant areas. Unfortunately, we get the opportunity to actually go meet with the customer to let them know it's coming, and a lot of people are pretty happy about the fact of possibility we'll get an internet pretty quick.
That's right, and we got some test customers and hearing very positive things because we want to be sure it's going to work like it needs to work before we start offering it to lots of customers. And so far it has, and we're starting to hook up customers, and hope to get another build ready to hook up some more customers on the southwest part of the county. And I believe y'all went out and tagged doors yesterday and tagging today, I believe. So it's working out well. And
if you get those tags, we want you to let us know that you're interested, and we're heading that way pretty quick. We have contractors working in the southwest portion, but our own people built the one toward Petersburg, which is being lit up and actually hooked up some customers now.
That is correct. And, we had the deadline on the northwest part, and, it's actually the 15th of this month. So I think we got some paperwork and some forms and some other things we got to get filled out and turned in and make sure that we did everything we were supposed to do because we did meet the deadline, and we'll just see now how it's going to work out with the state.
When we first got that particular one in Petersburg with a December 15th deadline, it was tough looking at it, thinking we can do it, but it's still a challenge. It was a pretty big challenge.
Well, it was a challenge for several reasons. Number one was material, because a lot of folks got these grants and those kinds of things, so your material was hard to come by. The other thing was you're dealing with COVID-19, so you had to be very, very careful how you worked, how many people you rode in a truck, and talking to outside customers and those kinds of things. So that was another challenge. And then if you had enough people to do the work, so if you got 2 or 3 out that's sick or due to COVID, then that cuts a crew down. And that's the reason we was working 6 days a week to take advantage of the good weather that we had during those days, and it's paid off for us.
Another thing, and an advantage to us building fiber is you had to get the tree trimming crews out ahead because this fiber line is the lowest line, I'm assuming, or close to the lowest line anyway. And so you had to, that's another challenge, to get the trees cut back and the brush cut back so the guys can put it in and keep it away from the fiber.
That's correct. So they were pushed as well. You know, they all done a great job because everybody was pushed, and you know, and we made the decision, and that was our goal, to get it done. And everybody was asked if you felt like we could get it done, and when we said that we feel like we could get it done, you know, we had to take the responsibility and get it done. So,
well, it worked out good, and that's being finished up now. And then, as you said, we're down into the Blanche area. We will continue doing that, and we want the customers, when they get the little packet that we put on their door, to contact us and let us know you're interested. And trust me, Britt, most of them are interested.
yeah, I know they are, and I'm glad they are.
Yeah, that's good. And we hope, we know they're going to have some really, really good internet. And there again, you know, there's a lot of the kids are home trying to do some school work, and it's very difficult on people to virtual school with little internet. And, you know, we are actually serving something that we talk about, underserved or not served at all. And a lot of places we've been, I would say, would be considered underserved. But now we actually been to places where there was no service at all. So
No,
the
correct.
only way they bought something from off the internet or anything like that, they literally had to go into town from their phone or somewhere like that. I mean, we actually been places where they didn't even have cell service anywhere. So that would be a tough situation to be in, and especially in these times with the schools. But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about cable television now. That's a whole nother thing that we let's go back a little bit and talk about. You were involved when Fayetteville Public Utilities got in cable television over 20 years ago, I would say. But we're to the point now where things are tough in that field for sure.
Well, we knew when we ventured out that, you know, things would be tough because you're in a competitive market. And it makes it tough because if you're a small provider like we are, then you're competing against these real large providers, you know, with their customer base being some of them 8, 9 times bigger than we are.
Sure.
You know, the rates are a little different, and, you know, it's getting to where we can't compete with the rates, especially with the programmers. You know, the programming that comes in here now is just gone absolutely way out there. And, you know, a lot of times on our internet size of how we try to make sure that we got the revenue to cover the cost, and it's gotten to the point now where we can no longer do that.
Yeah. Well, I know people maybe have seen this. These are the problems we deal with. For example, if you've watched a channel, whichever channel it is, and you got the little scrolling saying at a certain time, well, you could be cut off. These are the things that we're dealing with, or Britt's dealing with, in terms of negotiating. Even though we haven't had to do that part, we have done that in the
Yes, we
past,
have.
but we hadn't in this particular situation. But this particular situation is why we're in this situation, that we're going to put out a letter to the folks. It's going to go out by January 1st, I think, or the end of the month. And we're going to talk about some of the things that's going to change in that area. We're not going to hook up new customers. Is that correct?
That is correct. After December 31st, we will not be hooking up any new cable TV customers.
Cable TV customers.
Now, we're still going to be hooking up new internet customers.
Right.
And voice over IP. We are going to continue to do that. And the ones that are existing cable TV customers will still have the option of staying in with cable TV, because we're going to honor that of them being a customer.
Right.
Just won't be any new hookups December 31st. And if you are an existing cable TV customer and you relocate in another part of the city or whatever, we will hook you back up because you are an existing customer.
Right.
Now, what happens is every 6 months we will be evaluating where we are, programming costs, those kinds of things, to let, if it comes to where we have to just totally get out, you will have plenty of notice to make a change or whatever you might want to do. All I'm asking is, if you are a cable TV customer and you decide to leave FPU, you know, we still want to encourage everybody to remain as an internet voice over IP customer, and because we offer 24-hour service 7 days a week, And internet these days is the direction that even your programmers for your channels, that's the direction they're going to be moving, because I'm getting it now at my house, because I have direct TV, and I'm getting those scrolls at the bottom of the screen about, you're fixing to lose this channel and this channel, because they're all looking at going to the internet-based programming. So it's coming. That's the direction we're going to have to move, and which we're there now if you get a TV, smart TV, and, with internet. So,
right.
But all your younger generation is all going to this Hulu, Netflix, and I don't know half of what's out there, but every time you turn around, there's a new one that comes in. So that's new technology.
And what we're seeing too is some of those prices are increasing because they're dealing with the same thing that we're dealing with.
That is correct.
And you have been working, you and your staff and Eric Reeves and all of them have been working really hard trying to negotiate these things. You're looking at other options. And that's why we're going to have a letter. It's going to go out to the public, and we'll give you all the details. And if you have any questions, we will be glad to answer them here. And again, it's a daily struggle, I would say, is probably a good word, to try to figure out what to do, what's next. I do believe, even though TV's changing how we watch it, TV's not going away. So we want to encourage the public that we're going to do what we can to try to keep things going as long as we can, and that's why we're going to evaluate every 6 months.
That is correct, and that's just based on the TV portion. The internet, we're in as far as we can get in, and we're going to continue to get better. We're going to offer higher speeds and all those kinds of things. Again, it's like I said, that's the direction everything's moving. This started like several years ago, maybe 6, 7, 8 years ago, when the contracts, like all your off-air channels, used to be free. Now that's some of your most expensive channels of how you have to put it in a tier to offer to your customers, and that's the reason we lost channels 2 and 4. We only got channel 5 and I can't remember the 8 out of Nashville, but it just gets to the point where if you keep the channels and then your customers are going to be upset because they can't afford to pay you the rate, and so we felt like that was the best thing to do to try to still keep cable TV customers, and that's what we've done. And a lot of our customers have been very loyal to us for that, and we appreciate that very much. But it's just got to the point now, and you'll see the cost, how much they've gone up, and if the customer, we're going to let the customer make the decision, if you want to stay with FPU on the cable side or if you want to do something different.
Absolutely. Well, I know you've worked hard and y'all have tried to figure out what to do, and we're still doing that every day. And we will have a letter coming out to our cable subscribers and give you all the details. But we will continue looking, and just like you were, we did the Petersburg bill, we'll call it, the northern portion, and we're working in the process of building the Blanche area, which is the southwest build. But y'all are also looking at even the future. Y'all are I haven't been involved in that, but I know we're always looking for grants and things to look to further out our internet.
That is correct. We're always looking and researching and seeing what we can do to get more broadband in the area. At the same time, building the infrastructure. It's just like where I live, of having direct TV. I'm one of those that a lot of times you have to load your grandkids up to come to town to get internet service, because we don't have good internet service, and we don't have no cable service except through Dish because of where I live. But that's just where I live. Yeah. So, I wish I did have it, and because I know how it is here in town, when I come to work with the internet speeds and those kinds of things. But, I'm not at this time to have it, but the wireless part doesn't work all that good where I am. That's right. And so, I'd be glad when we look at other areas that maybe we can expand, and I might get lucky enough one of these days to get it. So.
Yeah. Well, one thing about that is, and I mentioned this earlier, is what we have to do, Britt, is we have to go to areas where there's not really competition. We're not overbuilding a Charter or a MediaCom or any of the big guys.
Well, if you get those grants, it doesn't allow you to do that.
Okay.
Because when they say unserved or underserved areas, that means either they're not meeting the requirements by the state to get the grant, or you can't come in there and overbuild somebody else that's already there that's offering their service. Now, that is if you get grant money. If you go out and you fund it yourself, you're allowed to do that. Oh. But grant money, you know, there's so many restrictions of what you can and cannot do, and we got to be sure we follow every regulation that they got to meet those guidelines that they set for us. So.
Yeah, well, we're working hard. We're going to continue building and trying to take care of our customer the best we can, like we have been doing, and we appreciate everybody staying with us and being loyal. And as you know, everybody we've talked about, we do have some loyal customers. However, some people will switch over for a dime, extra, and but in our case, you mentioned we have 24-hour service. We're there to take care of our customer when they need it, and that's not always the case with our competitors. So anyway,
the thing about being in the business is we love having our customers, working with our customers, but when you get the letter, if you get questions, feel free to call in, and we'll answer your questions the best that we can. But this isn't something that a decision was made like in the last month or something. Mm-hmm. We've been looking at this for the last 2 to 3 years, and possibly longer than that when all this programming cost started just getting out the roof of how they mm-hmm. charge a smaller group of how we offer those kind of services. So.
Yeah. With the fiber technology that we're building and that's being built, and we've already built a lot over the years. I mean, we've been doing this. We had fiber ties to each school probably 10 years ago, maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're and then one thing that's helped us in too. You might explain a little bit more. The fiber technology also helps us in the SCADA field and the electric side and that kind of thing as well.
Well, that's what we're doing with a lot of the infrastructure. We're building the infrastructure to hook up like our regulator stations in the field, our oil circuit breakers that's in the field, capacitors
so we can monitor them.
We can monitor the grid, and we got a lot of that hooked up now, right outside of the city limits. But now, if we can lease some dark fiber, which that's what we would do to the telecom side of the business. But mm-hmm. We're tied into every substation, and except for Mackburg and Petersburg. But we do have the data coming in and everything from Mackburg.
Right.
And the Petersburg was on part of this bill that we got now that we're lighting up at this present time. And so it pays off. And, we already got our smart meters out there and already communicating with them. And some of that is wireless. So it's going to help that once it all gets where it relates back to the fiber.
Mm-hmm. And one thing that's happened with all of this, something we've talked about many times on this program, is the outage management, which is now up and running and on our website.
That is correct. Where you can go in and see that, and all that would be at the same time that when we start having lots of outages, which I don't like saying having lots of outages, but it does happen, and
mm-hmm.
Down to one customer. So
mm-hmm.
It's just moving again with new technology. You got to be ahead of the string.
Yeah, and just this week, I think something happened at Flintville Sub maybe, and we lost that circuit over there, and we were able to look at the Smart Hub, get on there, look at the map, and actually see that area. I think it was red dot around, and that gives you an idea. As a customer, you can go to Smart Hub. You can even report the outage, or at least look in there and see that your area is out. And that will tell you that we know about it and we're on our way and working on it. In fact,
that is correct.
In fact, they knew about it before. They were already heading that way before we even, knew what happened.
Well, it's good, when you have the information coming in, and we knew it was in the Flintville substation. And, as soon as you know that, the first thing you need to do is go to Flintville substation. And, that helps pinpoint the problem because we had a bad regulator that erupted up there, and they was able to get it bypassed, get the lights back on. Pretty quick, so it pays off in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, you can look at outage management on our website. It's the top of the page, and also you can get it on the Smart Hub app. You can download the app from your app store and get that, and it's something you really want to see. Plus, Britt, you can see how you're using your service as well. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely, and I can't remember the number, but with all the readings we got coming in and how they look at those and check for alarms and those kinds of things, that we have helped out several customers on water leaks. They weren't even aware that they had, and we would call them up and say, we think you got a water leak. We'll even go back out and check the meter again to be sure and see what's happening. Mm-hmm. But, it has saved customers lots of money on water usage and wastewater usage, because your wastewater is based on water usage. So we call customers, all the time saying you might want to check something because it looks like you might have a leak.
Yeah. Well, we had one morning in the past couple of weeks, it was down to, I believe, 19 degrees. So one thing that you do during that time is look and see how much power is being used. And that day was a pretty good hit.
Yeah, it was a pretty good hit that day, and on the gas side as well.
That's right, yep.
And because the weather's really been kind of mild, but we've had some cold days. But, then when you start having those days where you're talking about cold for a month or, when it's down in the 20s or the teens, we haven't had that for a long period of time. We've had several nights, but it just hasn't been a long period of time.
Yeah. And we might want to mention, too, we have budget billing for folks that, if you have those high months, like maybe this month might be, but even though maybe it's not, I mean, it's been mild weather the last few days, but we did have that one cold snap. With budget billing, it can help you levelize that bill.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. What else we got going on, Britt? Something else? As we continue with the construction, you also have the guys working in the water. They're actually working. We're out in town now.
Well, we've been working over here off of Maple Street because we had a pretty good sized leak over there. And, that's another thing with the ground moving as the temperature changes and causes a little problems. But then again, we got several areas, the way that we've been battling with the infrastructure, with a lot of age and still got some more rehab replacements that we got to do as well. So we just keep doing that every day.
Okay. One thing that we have been doing this time of year is something we're really proud of, and it's been going on before I was here. I don't know how long it's been. You might remember, but Harvest of Hope has been a really big blessing for us. It's amazing how many people bring food by here. We took two vehicle loads yesterday to Good Samaritan. That's where that food goes, and that's something I know you're proud of, and we're proud. We appreciate the customer for just taking the time to bring their food in here and letting us get it to those who in need.
There's a lot of food that comes through the lobby doors.
They do.
And, it seems like it gets more and more every year, and people are helping all the time, and it's just unbelievable.
It is.
These folks that do that, and we really appreciate our customers and our employees that participate in this because it is needed. And, I encourage you, if you got something, if it's a wooden can or whatever, to bring it by. We'll get it to where it needs to be, and because it does help a lot of folks out.
It does. We have two places in the lobby for it. Sarah Mack moves it now to the warehouse, and then and we just keep it rolling that way. And even though if you walk in there and there's not a lot of food there, we've definitely got a lot of food, and we want you to continue doing that. It's real easy to be close by the grocery store here, just to bring some food up here and drop it off, because we see to it go to Good Samaritan, which we work with. I've been working with them for years, and we appreciate them doing what they do as well. We also have Project Help. Britt, you might talk a little bit about that. That's something that's been around before my time as well.
That is correct, and it's just where a customer can donate, on their bill or whatever, $1, $2, whatever. We have a lot of participation in that program. We're researching now to see if we can, with the donations of getting a $10,000 match from TVA, to help on the pandemic, those kinds of things, to help that as a total of $20,000 to give back, and we're still working in that area to see if we can get that done. But we have a lot of customers that participate in that program as well.
A few months back, we did that. We did that, and we worked with TVA and some other folks around town and the city, and we did that, and that went to Hands of Mercy.
That's correct.
So that was a good thing then. So it makes you feel good to help people. I know a few years ago we had this great idea of doing a coat drive, and it was a great thing. However, we got so many coats we couldn't hardly handle them.
It's unbelievable, really, and it's just how generous a lot of people are.
That's right.
There's a lot of good people that live in this community and want to do the right thing and help out people. Even when they can't help, they help.
Yep.
We really appreciate all that.
One thing that we preach around here is safety, and you got your crews getting ready for winter. I want to mention, too, we also help our area, too, and we sent some people down to Georgia to help out during a storm.
That is correct, and it was very, very challenging this time, because when you're talking several thousand folks that show up to work to try to get power back on, and they had it pretty rough down there. you know, then our folks everybody has to be really safe with this COVID because you're amongst a whole lot of people, and our folks did a good job. Everybody stayed healthy. They was down there for like 7 days, and, you know, it feels good when the other memberships call and tell you how wonderful and how good your folks did while they was working down here and doing an excellent job.
And you hope that if that happens here, which it could and has, we might need some help here someday.
That is correct. So, you know, you help when you can help. Now, at the beginning, during all these hurricanes, we were asked several times, you know, for help to be sent somewhere, and there was times that we couldn't send any help because we were on the fiber build, and you know, they all understood because normally FPU is the first one to volunteer.
Right.
So you know, it was just a little different, and everybody was wondering, you know, what's happening down there with FPU, and I said, well, we're trying to beat the deadline on the fiber, but they were also told if you don't find enough, you call us back and we'll have some help down there.
Yeah. Well, we had the deadline, and we're going to beat the deadline, and we beat the deadline. It's done. So we're doing good, and we appreciate our employees and for what all they've done. We appreciate our customers too for being there, supporting us, and being patient with us in times. And we are looking forward to continuing in 2021 to even getting better and bigger and better. And as you say, we're on a constant improvement process there.
Every day. You got to get better every day.
Yeah. What's good enough for today is not good enough tomorrow. That's his line.
That is right.
All right, Britt. Well, I want to remind everybody that the cable customers, they're going to receive a letter to give you all the details of this that we sort of just skimmed over, and we're working on that, and we'll have that out to you soon. So if you have any questions, feel free to call in here, and we'll be able to answer those questions. But I would wait for the letter so we can get all the details, and maybe then if you have questions, we'll help you out. But anything else before we go?
No, I just appreciate all of our customers, and you know, if it weren't for the customers, we wouldn't exist. So that means a lot, and we know how important it is to have good customers and employees as well, because the employees do a fantastic job of trying to work and make everything work with our customers, and you have to appreciate everybody that you work with.
All right. Thank you very much, Britt Dye, our CEO, General Manager here at Fayetteville Public Utilities. We appreciate the radio stations for letting us go on, EKR letting us go a little bit long this morning, but we had a lot to cover, and we appreciate them as well. Thank you, Lily, and thank you to YTM and all the folks up there. Thank you to our Channel 6 viewers this morning as well. And we will see you back in here later on this month. We will be doing another report of Breakfast Club, hopefully first of the year, right at end of the year. Britt and I will get back on here and give you some updates of what's going on. But thank you a lot. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening here on the radio stations. We'll see you back here next time.